Good Monday morning to you all. Hopefully you guys are doing great. Hopefully you got your cup of coffee and you're ready to go. We got another Watchmen update for you all. We got a big question out there. Has Nancy Pelosi broken the law with her stock trading? One politician seems to think so, and let's just say she's either that or really, really lucky. We got UK arresting hundreds gathered at a protest because they were supporting the wrong organization. And the UK starts to, wait a minute. Is this Trump or is this, no, it's the UK starting to deport criminal others. Yeah, wow, check that out. UCLA is being sued for $1 billion. And sanctuary cities and states have a major setback here. We got rotting vegetable reports coming in. We got disappearing rotisserie chicken reports. And a family's trauma kit gets used and saves them tens of thousands of dollars possibly, and maybe even saving a life. We got that and a whole lot more. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets us to the right place. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people who have retirement accounts. If you're tired of the stock market going up and your retirement going up and down and up and down, and you're worried about what it will look like in a few years, you might want to switch over to precious metals in your retirement account. If you'd like to know more about that, what the fees are, what the process is like, Jonathan and his team would love to walk you through it. And there's no obligation to move forward with it. You're just finding out some more information about it. There will be a link at the end of the video, or you can find them down in the pinned comment down below. There's a phone number there, so if you don't want to fill out your information, you just want to give them a call, ask them some questions, work through some hypotheticals or whatever. They'd be happy to chat with you and walk you through it. Make sure you mention this channel, though, because if you do decide to move forward with them, they will waive your setup fees, which are hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So they do that for this audience because we've been with them for so long. So that's down in the pinned comment down below, or there's a link at the end of the video. All right, so we're seeing historic flooding in Milwaukee. This is big stuff happening there. It's just every week we're hearing historic flooding somewhere in the United States. And it's got a lot of people wondering, what's really going on here? Are we being attacked by a foreign nation? Not only the United States being hit by massive flooding incidents, but other countries are as well. Is this climate modification? Is this weather weapons being used in essentially a Cold War? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. All right, President Trump has accused openly Nancy Pelosi of insider trading. He accuses former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi of outperforming Wall Street through the use of inside information, which is illegal. It's illegal for a politician to do it, just as it is for a corporate office holder inside a private corporation. Basically, alleges that she and her husband, Paul, beat top hedge funds in 2024 by leveraging non-public data. Like I said, this is a criminal offense. President Trump is accusing her of a criminal offense. And it's not a misdemeanor either. It's a felony. So if he's saying that, he better be able to back it up, because that's kind of that's a serious charge. But I kind of suspect that he can back it up. Anyway, President Trump has nominated State Department spokeswoman Tammy Bruce, as Deputy U.S. Representative to the United Nations. Bruce was previously a Fox News contributor and commentator for 20 years, but now she will serve as the representative to the United Nations. Basically, our ambassador to the UN. Hopefully she can shake things up and speak truth to power there. You know what I'm saying? We got Trump speaking to speak at a White House event later today on violent crime in Washington, D.C. Now, this is amid the federal crackdown. They got federal officers, federal law enforcement officers, patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C. because the crime levels have hit such absurd levels that you think it's another Chicago or Los Angeles or Seattle or Philadelphia or Baltimore. All democratically run cities. Crazy how that works. But at least though Washington, D.C. is directly under federal control, President Trump can exert federal control over the District of Columbia because it's not a state. We got London police out there arresting 474 people for being part of a protest. What did they do badly at this protest? Well, they held signs and they chanted things. Were they blocking traffic? No. Were they breaking other laws? No. They were protesting for an anti-Israeli organization that the UK government has deemed any public support of them is illegal. Now, I don't support this organization in the least. I think that anyone who supports them is a bad person. But when you start having the government deciding what organizations you can and you can't support publicly, isn't that kind of crossing a line? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. All right. The UK has announced plans for immediate deportations of migrant criminals. Yes, it says the UK, the United Kingdom, Britain. They are going to start deporting. UK Justice Secretary, didn't know they had one of those, but has announced proposals to deport foreign nationals serving sentences in the UK prisons. Aims to alleviate prison overcrowding so that they can arrest more people for thought crimes and speech crimes. And it's going to reduce costs by ensuring non-citizen offenders serve their sentences abroad. So just kind of deport them to foreign prisons. The UK. It's like they're trying to do the right thing, but they're too tyrannical about it. How about that? Even when they try to do the right thing, they do it all the wrong ways. It's crazy. Hats off to you guys still living in the UK, and our prayers go with you. It's getting almost as bad as Canada in the UK. Anyway, the White House is demanding University of California, Los Angeles, or UCLA, cough up $1 billion in fines and damages for their anti-Semitic policies and other civil rights violations. Now, they've already had $584 million in grants suspended from the federal government, and that's kind of part of the leverage here is pay up the big fine, or we're just going to keep suspending all of we're not going to send you any grant money because you guys are racist. You guys are racist and sexist. That's why we're not going to do it. This also encompasses Title IX issues where they were not giving women's sports because they were allowing non-women into the women's sports, and therefore it stopped being a women's sport. And they're required by Title IX, if they have a men's only sport, they're supposed to have a women's only sport. And they were basically blowing up all the women's only sports. And this is a violation of Title IX. So they're racist and sexist, allowing student organizations to go after local students who are of Jewish descent and Jewish religion, and allowing that to happen on school grounds and actually with support from the student government and with the college facilities and such. All right, good news out there. The path has been cleared to cut off all federal funding to so-called sanctuary cities and states, and that could be happening imminently in the next number of days and next number of hours. So we could see all federal funding cut to the state of California. That would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? We can see all federal funding to the city of Los Angeles cut, San Francisco cut, Boston. Any other cities that declare themselves to be sanctuary cities could lose all federal funding. Now, this has been previously blocked by judges, but those judges have been overturned, that President Trump and the administration absolutely do have this power. That if a state or city is acting in flagrant rebellion to government, federal government laws, they can be stripped of funding. All right, European leaders hearing about the meeting this week between President Trump and President Putin are going to protest this. They don't like this at all. We got Zelensky out there saying that he will not give up any territory whatsoever, which is completely delusional. Completely delusional. He's not even going to give up Crimea, right? I mean, it's just like, how can you even think about that? Since, I mean, it's clear that the Russians control a lot of those territories. It's not like they're going to just give it up. But anyway, Europe is backing Zelensky and trying to back him up. Eyes Wide says, Tacoma, Washington State. I went to Walmart just to pick up a couple of items. They had 10 small bags of great value white rice, small ones, no medium-sized bags, and only 4 20-pound bags. All their displays are of potato chips and pastries. It's also getting hard to find rotisserie chickens. I've been noticing that fruit that is in season is very sour or tasteless. Now, towards the end of this episode, this video, we have a big story that I want all of you guys to hear about a family that had an emergency situation at home, but they were prepared and they were able to use some relatively cheap products to potentially save a life, and definitely were able to avert major costly hospital interventions. All right, Linda says, Friday, Southeast New Mexico, Walmart milk shelves are empty. Also, the green bell peppers were all on the verge of rotting. Lady Aquamarina says, water main break in New Jersey. Found out from my aunt who lives in Prospect Park, the water main break affecting Patterson and Prospect Park. Repairs ongoing. It's going to be 36 to 48 hours. She said, my uncle went to get water from the city and people were fighting, showing up without ID, cutting in line. Cops were called and everything. Solar to Go says, I placed an order from a company in Cincinnati and it shipped via U.S. Postal Service the same day. Order tracking shows that it has been sitting in Cincinnati Post Office for 8 days now and has yet to move with no listed delivery date. Is it lost or stolen at that post office? Who knows? Big Blue says, in eastern Pennsylvania, you can see the smoke hanging in the air from the Canadian wildfires, and the air quality for today is listed as unhealthy. Daryl, here in Anchorage, Alaska, site of the big peace negotiations shortly, there was no canned chicken at our Costco in Dimmond. Also, very little bugs this year up there as well. Very little bees, dragonflies, and not one butterfly at all. I feed the birds and squirrels, very little magpies this year, and small birds seem all gone. The squirrels I do see are small. Keep stocking up. That's a good word out there. Bingham says, no bees in my bee balm plants, which are supposed to attract them. No birds at the feeder or at the bird bath. Air quality alerts frequently for Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. Northern Nancy says insects in southern Wisconsin. Insects here are almost non-existent. I've noticed your viewers have all of Wisconsin covered, north, central, and south. It sounds like northern Wisconsin still has insects. The insects die off, seem to be coming up from the warmer western and southern states. The most northern part of the country will be the last to lose the massive insect populations. But it seems to be coming their way. We just have massive changes happening across the United States. We have a government and corporations that are just meddling with the weather, meddling with the food chains, meddling with the ecology of the United States. We have bureaucrats making decisions of what is safe and what is not, and those same bureaucrats seem to be getting massive funding from the corporations and the businesses that they're supposed to be overseeing. What could possibly go wrong? Just look at Monsanto with the Roundup, and that should answer all of your questions for you. If you aren't familiar with all of that, you should look into it. E says, Central Pennsylvania. A week after my last update, still no rotisserie chicken at Weiss. And a new sign showed up. Due to crop issues, quote unquote, beefsteak tomatoes are temporarily out of stock. We apologize for any inconvenience. That's right, crop issues for beefsteak tomatoes. Tom says, East Central Vermont. I have not seen one honeybee this year. Plenty of bumblebees, though. It's weird. Posh Petals says, I purchased a salad from Fresh Market the other day that had feta cheese, spinach, and berries. In the first bite, there seemed to be grit, as if the spinach wasn't washed. It may not have been. The entire salad ended up being so gritty and dirty that I couldn't eat it. The cost was $11, and Fresh Market is one of those high-end stores. You would think that dollar amount and the store itself, there would have been quality food. I rarely purchase pre-made salads, but I was out running errands and wanted something healthy and not too costly. Boy, was I wrong. The week before, I purchased 3 pounds of perch fillet, and when went to cook it the very next day, the smell was so bad that I had to return it. You can't trust anything that's being purchased these days. It's really a crapshoot. And this is from Peggy, here in Kearney, Nebraska. I also have started feeding the squirrels and birds early because I also see that they are very small in size. We usually see a lot of garter snakes as well, and there is absolutely none this year. And this is a story I was telling you about before, Nashville Pasta Man. My 13-year-old had a bad scooter accident, tore skin on his torso, elbow, and hand. I had trauma kits in my preps, the hemostatic powder. You can use powder or the impregnated bandages used by field medics, the non-stick gauze, tourniquets. All of those components were there. Cracked them open with the powder and dumped it on the wound, stopped the bleeding instantly, and packed it with compressed gauze. Saved a trip to the emergency room and thousands of dollars, not to mention 45 minutes to get to the care, right? I mean, it would have taken 45 minutes to get there or for ambulances to show up. The paramedics would have done the same thing. Reminded me that when seconds matter, help is only minutes away. 24 hours later, she is on the mend. We have the Jace case also. The Jace case has antibiotics in it. So if you have wounds that get infected, you can treat that way. Also with the Jace case, the cool thing about that too is that you have a doctor that will pick up the phone. So if you're like, should we use this for this situation? You can pick up the phone, call the doctor, and they'll say, for this use case, you should use this one. Not just some random person, but a medical doctor, a licensed doctor, will tell you which antibiotics to use, how much, and for that situation. That could be a lifesaver right there. But what they're talking about with the hemostatic powder, basically it's just powder that you put on a wound that causes it to coagulate and to it stops the bleeding, right? The problem with the powders, though, is, and why a lot of medics stopped using it, is that if you do end up having to go to the hospital after using that, they have to clean all that powder out. Now, it will save a life, and the hospitals rather have you get there alive and have them clean it out. But bandages that are impregnated with it are really the way to go. If you can get bandages impregnated with that, Quick Clot has a bunch of those. You pack the bandage on there, and it's much easier for them to take the bandage off, and then the wound is basically clean. But as they say here, there's no signs of infection. Make sure that you have some elements to take care of yourself and your loved ones. $50 in a trauma kit could save tens of thousands of dollars or the life of someone you love. Tourniquets, you should definitely have tourniquets. You should be getting enough tourniquets that you can be passing them to friends and family members and just being like, just put this in your car. Just put this in your car. Briefly explain to them how it works. But the fact that you have a tourniquet there, even if they don't know how to use it, someone else on the scene may or probably will know how to use it, so they have what they need. Yes, you can make tourniquets out of other things, but the actual tourniquets are better. So get extra tourniquets, get extra medical kits. You should be the person handing friends and loved ones medical kits and explaining how to use things and just giving them and saying, just put this in your car, put this, in your house. You're doing stuff outside. Make sure you have this with you. Make sure you're the person foisting first aid kits on people. You may save some lives doing that. All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold, once again, in the pinned comment down below, you can find their information. Make sure you mention this channel. You can also click on the link right there on the screen. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. I'll see you over there, or I'll see you guys later. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.